Hey guys, welcome back to Embraced by Life. I'm Lisa. I'm here sharing with you my journey along with my husband Frank and our dog Buddy as we are in the process of selling our home and fingers crossed moving to Spain. It has been a crazy month and a half. I am sorry I haven't done a video on an update on our home sale, but that's what I'm here to do today. I did do a video about a week and a half or so ago related to our non-lucrative visa application with the Spain consulate. So if you're interested in those details, you can take a look at the other video that I posted recently on that. Our visa is still pending. So we had hoped to find out by last week, and our status got updated for our visa on the Spain consulate website to ready to be issued, but we don't know if that means we're getting it or just the resolution of our visa application. So here we are, it's end of day Tuesday. The following week, still haven't gotten a call yet. So this is what's going on with our house and how it kind of ties into the whole being in limbo with our visa process. So the last time I spoke to you guys was the week of me getting our visa appointment completed. We ended up rushing around and having to go back to the consulate to submit more paperwork. That was on the 28th. So we spent the week of that last week of August showing the house while running back into New York City to the consulate for our visa. And then we started to get a little concerned after that appointment, you know, what's going to happen. But we just kept remaining hopeful. We dropped the price on our home by about $25,000. And we spent a lot of time praying on it. And thank goodness we did have quite a few more showings once we dropped the price. And luckily, there's a couple that came and looked at the house and they seemed to really like it. And I'll be honest with you, I was getting so desperate that when I saw them as they were about to leave and we were pulling back into the driveway, I actually ran over to their car and said, "Do you like the house? We just dropped the price. How do you feel about the price?" I know I probably shouldn't have done that, but honestly, we were at our breaking point and I was just literally so desperate. I wanted to get some intel and find out, you know, now that we dropped the price, is it going to help, or do people still feel it's too high, or where are we at? And they said, no, it's perfectly priced. We love it. They said that they had a really bad experience where they put an offer in on a home in New Jersey, and the offer was in this under attorney review, which is part of this New Jersey process. So once someone makes an offer and it's accepted, it goes under attorney review for like 3 to 5 days or so. And then during that attorney review process, they can actually accept another offer from somebody else and your offer's gone. Like until that attorney review is completed and you have a final signed contract, this whole written offer doesn't really matter. So they were upset over that. And I said, well, we had the same experience. We were under attorney review as well with someone who had made an offer on our part for our house. And they pulled out of the offer even after they made it in writing, because I think they found something else that they liked within a few days. So it happened to us, it happened to them. We kind of had a common, you know, connection there. And lo and behold, they came back a week and a half later. We didn't know it was a repeat visit. We just knew that it was another showing. And then when they came and it was the same people, I was like, oh, this is awesome. And they really did love it. And I think me running over and just having a candid, open, honest conversation with them and sharing with them our experience that we had, and they shared theirs, I think they felt a little bit more comfortable with making an offer. And I certainly felt more comfortable with them as potential home buyers because I knew that they had, you know, gotten the short end of the deal as well, and they made an offer and it got pulled from them. So I knew they were honestly looking to buy something and that hopefully they'd be genuine. and they had a few questions. They called the township on a few things, which was awesome. I encouraged them to because we did the same thing. Just some questions about the property line. They made an offer. We countered, and they came to around 5,000 less than asking. So we accepted immediately. And then we went under attorney review. And again, we were both jaded and worried about that, but it went fine. And in fact, it was probably 3 days before they made the offer. My husband and I were literally at our breaking point with having dropped the price, having more people come, more of the same, just nitpicking and poking around, and people, it feels like everyone's like in your closets and nitpicking on what they do or don't like, and it just, we weren't getting the right buyers. And so we actually booked a trip away for 2 weeks. We were like at our breaking point, and we said, we're just gonna let the real estate agent show the house for 2 weeks. We are leaving, and whatever happens, happens. We have lots of security cameras and stuff. So we thought, we'll just let them have the house for 2 weeks, because we were done. We were so exhausted and tired, especially after we dropped the price. We had so many more people just nosing around and coming in. We were done. It's exhausting. So we booked a trip to Argentina for 2 weeks. And it was a few days before the offer came in. So literally a day or two before we flew out, we booked the trip like a week in advance. We were like, let's just go. They made the offer. So luckily, we found out a couple days beforehand that we were going to go into this contract review, and we're a little worried it may fall through, but it worked out fine. We got under contract with them. They did the home inspection while we were on vacation. So we got away for a couple weeks. My husband got sick while we were away. So yeah, it wasn't totally relaxing, but it was a good reprieve, because what you forget is you go through all the stress of showing your house, getting it under contract, and then you're like, now we have 6 weeks or so to get everything packed up and get out of here. So that's what we've been doing ever since we got back from our trip. So we landed back around the 24th of September from our 2-week trip with our contract in hand, ready to go. Inspection was completed. And so we got into full gear for the past week and a half. We've been just going like crazy packing. And so we're still waiting on our visas for Spain. So here's what we're doing. We are packing what we know for certain we want to bring to Spain if we get our visas. Then we have our whole dining room, living room on the first floor filled with piles of stuff that is questionable. So if we don't get our visas, it will get packed up and stored in storage somewhere while we, I guess, rent out a place before we find a new place to buy. So there's piles of stuff on our first floor, which will be either sell at a yard sale if we get our visa, or pack and store until we find a house. Then we've got our Spain pile, which is taking with us to Spain, which is primarily clothing and a few essentials of stuff that we absolutely need to have with us. And then we've got another pile of ship to Spain, which is mostly like tools and stuff like that. A few appliances and things that we can use in Spain, pots and pans, and a few things that we will want to ship over there. So that's in our garage. So yeah, and we have been bagging up just tons of crap that nobody's going to want to buy and that we don't want to take with us, whether we end up in Spain or whether we end up buying something here in the United States to move into. We're just not going to bring with us either way. And it's not worth selling to someone at a yard sale, and it's not even worth giving away, to be honest. So it's just junk that we are getting rid of that's not worth anyone buying. And we started that, like I said, a week and a half ago. Um, I will preface this with, if you're going to sell your home, you want to start purging before you put it on the market, which we did do. So we started purging back in January, February. We purged a ton of stuff. And I did a yard sale at our church across the street. I got rid of so much stuff and sold it and gave some away at that yard sale. So we already did like a major purge. This is a secondary purge as we're packing. You just realize, you don't need all this stuff, and it's exhausting. It's overwhelming. Every time I go into a room and start going through a closet, I'm like, I haven't even looked at this stuff in years. Why do I even have it here? And does somebody else want it? If yes, it goes in the pile for the garage sale or yard sale. And if no, then it's going in the garbage. So we literally have been putting out garbage. We have on Fridays large bulk pickup. You can do about 5 of those a year. So I'm scheduling them every week. On Fridays, we're doing bulk pickup. So last week was the first week because we got back on the 24th, 25th, and then we got it started last week. So we put out a huge bulk garbage dump in our driveway, and a few guys came around with a truck, and I guess they're like junk pickers, and they came and wanted to look at our junk that was there to be picked up the next day. This was on Thursday of last week, and they were starting to look at an old table that was kind of broken, so we didn't want to try to sell it anyway. And so I ran out and I'm like, are you looking for other stuff? I have other stuff if you're looking for it. And the one guy's like, yeah, sure, what do you have? And I said, well, I have a dining room set that I can't sell. Are you interested? And he said, well, my brother might be. So he called his brother. He did a video call with him. He came in, took a video of the dining room set. And we've been trying to sell this since January, February on Facebook Marketplace. And it's just too big. It's so big. And it's just, it came with the house. And the people that are buying the house don't want it. So he said, yeah, my brother will take it. And his brother showed up literally an hour later. He showed up with his son and his wife, and they were thrilled to get this beautiful dining room set that we got when we bought the house. It's beautiful, but it's just old and it's heavy. It's beautiful wood. And so they loaded it into their truck, and they took the dining room set, and that gave us tons of room now to put more piles of stuff for yard sales and whatnot. So the biggest thing, whether you're moving out of country or just trying to downsize or whatever you're trying to do as you move, it's not going to be worth paying to ship or paying to relocate all this stuff if you just don't think you need it in your new home. So for us, we just want to offload. Even if we do end up not getting our visas and having to buy another house in the United States, there's no way that we would want to ship all this stuff to another home. I think it costs us over $3,000 to ship our furniture and our belongings from Brooklyn over here to New Jersey, which is only a 25-30 minute drive without traffic. So it was a lot of money, and we are not doing that again. And we are not going to have a house this big again. We are retired and we're looking to downsize and simplify our lives. So that's where we're at with the home sale. I am so grateful and thankful that we got buyers. The market is still the same as it was when we came into it, which is people are trying to sell their homes for the most they can, but people are starting to drop their prices. So if you're looking to buy a home in New Jersey, I think we're at the point where you can start haggling a little bit. If a home hasn't sold within the first 15 days, if it's not under contract, I think you've got some leverage is my guess. Just based on my experience. People start to panic after their house hasn't been, an offer made or under contract within 3 weeks or so. Like 21 days is like the limit at that point. You probably need to take a look at the price, or you just make an offer under asking. Don't feel like you have to keep offering over. And that's one of the things that I said to this couple when I ran out to their car. I'm like, is it that buyers feel they have to offer over asking? And they said, well, yeah, that's kind of what it's been. I'm like, okay, well, I don't think that's the case anymore. Like, people are dropping prices, so we're open to an offer. And we ended up getting 5,000 less than what we were asking, which is awesome. So, we are just thrilled, but at the same time, we are just absolutely in panic mode, trying to get everything done, trying to get everything packed up, trying to figure out, are we even going to get to go to Spain? Our potential closing date is the first week of November. We've got 3 weeks after this week. It's not much time. So if we don't find out within 3 weeks, we're going to have to pay for storage for our stuff that is all questionable. And then if we get the call and we get our visas, that stuff is going to be sold and given away really quickly. And I'll be posting on Facebook groups in my community that we're having a yard sale and that we're also giving stuff away as well. And making sure we have our pile of everything to go to Spain ready to go in case we do get the call. We're going to want to have that ready to be picked up the end of this month in 3 weeks' time, to be shipped over. It's not a lot of stuff, but more than we can put in luggage to take with us. We've also got Buddy to take, so that's another thing. I've been trying to figure out how to get him over to Spain. And being in limbo, not knowing our visas, I haven't been able to book a flight. The charter flights where they have these groups that all get together and help pay together for it, they're all booked up. So we're going to have to put him in cargo. But I think special cargo because he's too big. So I'm nervous about that. It's not what I wanted to do, but it's, what we'll have to do if we do get our visas. And there's only a few airlines that still do that, so we'll have to go from JFK. And because we don't know if our closing date will happen on the date we're expecting, or it could get pushed a week or two, we'll probably have to rent an Airbnb for a couple weeks. It's a lot. I'll do another video as we get closer to knowing if we get our call for our visa, then I can kind of share with you all what we've planned out for our move and how the packing and moving's going. But right now, it's pure chaos. To be honest, it's not a normal move. When we moved from Brooklyn to here, we sold our house there. We were in contract. We started packing up pretty much everything, and we purged what we knew we didn't want, but we probably took a lot more than we should have. So the only thing that this whole process is doing is it's kind of forcing us to do that extra special purge, because if we do move to Spain, we're only taking like the bare essentials. We're not taking all this other stuff with us. So that's what we're getting out of this, is like a super duper purge. And if we don't get our visas, I'll probably go through all that stuff again that's sitting in our front living room and dining room space and just decide, do we want to put it in storage? Is it even worth it? While we look for another house. So it's a lot to digest and process and think about, and a lot of unknowns. And then timing of getting rid of everything. So knowing that we are not moving into another home directly from here, it's the timing of getting rid of our beds and everything, and gearing up for when the garbage day comes, and whether our bed goes into storage or if it goes into the garbage. If we get our visas, it goes into the garbage. And then I just literally booked a hotel for 3 nights around the moving date so that we can sleep comfortably before the closing date. And hopefully it doesn't get pushed off and we have to pay for a hotel longer. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm so forever grateful that we have buyers, and they are awesome buyers so far. From everything I've seen, they love the house, and I think they're going to take great care of it, which means a whole lot to us because we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. So it is all coming together. Patience is the key. finding the right buyer is the key. I think I shared with you guys, we did have another offer that came in after the people pulled out of the contract. There was an offer that came in between that one and our final buyer's offer. It was a low offer, a little bit lower than where we landed with these buyers, but it didn't feel right. I was worried they'd be nitpicking all the way to the end. Something just didn't feel right. Trust your gut. I believe it was worth it to wait the extra. It was probably 3 or 4 weeks that we waited, but you know, the timing is working out as well. Had we have sold to the original buyers that came in right after we listed the house, we would right now be in an Airbnb waiting to hear on our visa, and I don't know what we would have done with all of our stuff. So hopefully we hear back on our visa in the next few days to a week, and then we can just get things rolling. But yeah, that's where I've been. I have no chair here. I'm standing because everything in this, what was my office space, is basically gone. So we're slowly getting every room cleared out. And that's my suggestion. Once you get your house under contract, start clearing room by room by room, packing it up, throwing stuff away, giving it away. And yeah, try to be as systematic as you can there. Otherwise, it just feels like pure chaos. So, all right. I hope this video helps somebody. Leave some comments. I had a few people ask how things were going. I know it's been over a month since I posted. It took that long for us to literally get rolling. So we look forward to giving you another update as soon as we know whether we are moving to Spain or not. And hopefully we hear that really soon. All right. Check you later. Bye.